Waterwight, Book 1, Chapter 20. You could not have stopped it, the mountain spoke. A strange vision of a one-eyed wizard speaking through a lovely, silent girl woke me from my slumber, and I knew you would return. Then I heard his small voice. You were the only one who could save him. She pulled the boy, startled to tears by the talking mountain of stone, to her and cradled him on her lap. They sat in the subtle glow cast by the half-moon until Eenie and the dogs retreated to the crook of Old Man Massive's nose, slumped together in a heap, grief-stricken and exhausted from the latest cataclysm that had taken all who remained. All but the small group stranded near the top of the mountain. Celeste noticed Enie's distended belly and worried if she could even make the dreadful trip to the other side of the big water. The short flight from the treetop had frightened her deeply. It's okay, Bridger. The mountain is a friend. She held him tightly as he released his bottled fear, letting him cry until he had no more energy to cry. No one spoke a word until his little chest stopped heaving. Finally, the boy pulled his face from her chest and stared at his hands. What happened to my hands? They're all weird. Celeste hadn't noticed it in her rush to rescue him from the tree, but the boy's face and hands were the color of copper. She took hold of a hand and felt its cool smoothness. How do you feel? She asked, and his answer told her the change in his skin was not his biggest concern. I'm... They dared me to steal some apples. Here. He pulled 3 apples from his shirt and let them drop to the ground. I don't want 'em no more. It was dark, so nobody saw me, and when I climbed the tree, the girl's house, it just fell, splash, under the water, and then I tried to build a boat real fast so they could get in, and I did, but then the water came up and I had to let it go 'cause of the cat, and besides, he sobbed again, they're all gone. It's 'cause I stole, isn't it? No, Bridger. Celeste rocked the boy in her arms again. It's the horrible water's fault, not yours. You had nothing to do with it. And guess what? What? His curious face focused on hers. I'm going to take you to a place where there are other boys and girls to play with and fun new things to eat, and you can meet my flying frog, too. She made it sound easy. She wanted it to be easy. In reality, she could see the water was winning the battle. Does he fly like you? His tiny copper face looked hopeful. He flies with beautiful emerald wings, she said. Can we go there now? The animals raised their heads expectantly. Bridger grasped Celeste more tightly when the mountain spoke again. If you believe you can do this, I believe you will. The words rumbled from him more quietly. But how, old man? A boy, 2 dogs, and a cat? Once she returned to the other side, Celeste didn't think there would be time to come back to the mountain for a second rescue. Her friends, she hoped, were waiting to be found in the fissures, but she didn't even know where to begin her search. She'd have to take them all with her in one trip, or leave some to die. Aside from the boy, the only other survivors on this side were Ranger, Floyd, and Eenie. I'll make another boat and we can all jump in, Bridger said, forgetting about the sickening odor and the bizarre transformation of his skin. Watch! He stood, squinting his dark eyes as if searching for something. Celeste and the others watched as branches and bramble from around the mountainside danced together in a small whirlwind. When the dust and ash settled, a small boat sat in a pockmark on the hill above them. "Where'd you learn how to build a boat, Bridger?" Celeste was awestruck by the boy's ability.
"Saw one in a picture once. It was bigger'n mine, but maybe I can make a big one someday."
Celeste knew they'd never survive a boat ride across the fetid water, but it gave her an idea. "Could you add some long straps to the boat, too? Like something I could put around me?"
"Sure, that's easy,"
he said, and then he whispered in her ear,
"but I gotta use some of the mountain man's beard."
Old Man Massive grinned, and Celeste told him it would be all right. One more mini dust storm, and 4 long straps lay across the boat, secured to its sides.
"Like that?"
Bridger asked. "Yes, just like that." "Oh, I don't think so, love," Eenie spoke. Celeste could see her back hunched. "Don't be such a baby," Ranger said, but his hackles were spiked too. He walked up the hill and stepped into the boat. Floyd followed.
"Come on, fraidy cat,"
Bridger said as he stooped to scoop the cat back into his arms.
"We're going on a venture."
He scampered up the hill and joined the others in the cramped space. "This'll be the death of us all," Eenie wailed. "Well, gosh, one way or the other," Floyd murmured. "Stop the melodrama," Ranger said. "Celeste is powerful. She will take us to safety."
"Oh," Celeste called up to her huddled crew, "call me Paloma now, okay? Forget the other one. The shifter is still alive and started chasing me when it heard my real name. It's a vulture now. It must have—" She didn't want to mention the death of their friend Butch. "Anyway, it hasn't found me yet on the other side, and I want to keep it that way." She looked to Old Man Massive. "I still haven't learned what I'm supposed to do. What if I was supposed to come back sooner? What if there was something here I was supposed to save, and it's gone now?"
"Look after those you have saved, Paloma," he whispered. "You have more to do and others waiting. You must be on your way."
"But the other side is breaking apart. There's a boy who can stop time there, and he's doing it right now, but 2 of my friends are lost in the fissures, and the water keeps expanding. Even if I save my boat friends here—"
"When?" Ranger barked.
"Even when I save these friends, it'll just be a matter of time before—"
"Time is irrelevant," the mountain cut her off. "Now is what you have. Now you can control. Believe you will do what is best. Now you must fly away once more and never forget who you are. You are finished here."
"But now I don't know if I'll be back again. I don't want to say goodbye."
"There is no goodbye, little one," Old Man Massive said. He closed his ancient eye. Celeste knelt down and kissed his nose. She gathered the scattered apples into her own shirt and walked up the hill to her silent passengers. She could sense their apprehension. Stepping into the harness and wrapping it around her, she looked at the boat, made somehow by a 5-year-old, and hoped it would do what she needed it to do. Leaping lightly into the air, she tested its strength, pulling it from the ground slowly. It seemed secure. I can't look. I do hope you know what you are doing, love, Eenie cried. Do hush up, Cat, Ranger told her. As Celeste crested the precipice, she felt it had been 1,000,000 years since she'd taken her first leap from the edge. Once beyond, she looked over her shoulder, hoping her parents would be standing there, waving to her as they'd done in her dream. Instead, vapors from the water below reflected a rainbow as the first rays of morning sun caught the rising particles. Now hold on, she called to her boatload of survivors. We're going home. If only she could believe it. That ends chapter 20 of book 1.